owner, a consultant, coach, expert service provider who intends to make money and continue doing business in 2025, then this video is for you because I'm going to talk about what you need to legally protect yourself as you continue to grow and scale your business. My name is Liku Amadi, founder and attorney of Anasa Law Firm, where I work with consultants, coaches, and expert service providers to help them establish a solid legal foundation for business. I usually talk about contracts, but in this video, we're going to talk about more than contracts. We're going to talk more than just client relationships. We're going to talk about how to establish a solid legal foundation for your business. Most business owners get tripped up when it comes to the legal stuff in their business, right? If they have questions about something new they want to do, they have questions about a partnership they want to enter into, or someone they want to hire, or a dispute they're going through, there's usually some legal element to it. And when we don't have clarity, when we don't have protection, when we don't have a pulse on what we can do and where our risk is at, we're not going to make good decisions, right? We're going to continue to put our business at risk. With that being said, we are going to talk about three components when it comes to protection, right? I've divided them up into three parts. And just as a reminder, I do have a YouTube channel with a ton of just content regarding client contracts and protecting your business. So if you need to dive in deeper, go ahead and subscribe to that, because this is going to be a general overview. Protection, relationships, and questions. Your protection, your relationships, and your questions. So first and foremost, your protection. We get into business to make money, not to lose it, right? But there is that scary part where, oh, I'm going to get sued. Oh, I don't want my personal assets to be on the line. So the initial question most business owners have is, when do I get an LLC, right? Or should I even have a business entity right now? The purpose of a business entity is to separate your personal assets from your business assets. So if you are worried that your house, your stock, your cars, or your employee salary, any of those things may be on the line if you mess up or have a mishap in business, then you need to have a legal entity in place, because when issues come up in business, lawsuits, contract disputes, you owe money, somebody owes you money, you want your business entity to take the hit. Legally, your business entity is a separate person. So people are going to be doing business not with you necessarily, but your entity. So again, when issues happen, it comes to your entity. It hits your entity. Your entity is responsible, and your personal assets are not on the line. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that your current business entity is up to date. Your LLC has certain upkeep requirements. No matter what state you're in, you're going to need to do some maintenance, right? That's generally the case. After you file, you may need to file some paperwork or pay a fee every year, every other year. I believe in one state, it's like every 5 years or every 3 years, right? You want to make sure number one, you know what that is. And then number two, you comply, right? And you comply on time, because the consequences of not doing that is potentially having your business fined or suspended, or just in bad standing, to the extent that if you were to get into some trouble and you did need your entity to protect you, but you're not maintaining the upkeep requirements for that protection, you may still be in trouble, right? So yes, your LLC is there, but it's not just a one-time thing. You need to make sure that it is always in good standing, and that's usually some upkeep paperwork that you need to file with your state or mail in with your state, some fees that you need to pay. Taxes, of course, are super important as well. That is not my expertise, so please consult with a tax professional when it comes to what taxes you have to pay in your state, in your county, whatever fees with the tax board, etc. Right? Local requirements apply as well. So right now I've kind of just been talking about like state level LLC compliance, but depending on where you are, right, your county, your city, your town may also have additional requirements of you. You may have to register with them that you're doing business in that city, or that you're doing business in that county. And so if that applies to you, You need to figure it out and find out, and then make sure you are compliant so that you're not in a delinquent status, or again, risk suspension of your business entity, or just really risk that protection that you want or that you sought your business entity out for in the first place. Are we on the same page? If so, let me know. Drop a yes in the comments. If you're watching this live, tell me. If you're watching this on a replay, let me know as well. Another part about your protection, right? And this depends on the type of professional you are. If you have some type of licensure or certification that also requires certain things of you, you need like training hours to maintain, or have to follow certain rules, operated within certain boundaries. You need to know what that is, and you need to comply at that level as well, because different authorities govern how you do business and how you can facilitate your services. And so if you're not complying with that, that may also risk your protection, even though your LLC is in place, right? Different situations, different circumstances, different facts call for just different scenarios when it comes to these things. So the best case scenario is to make sure you have your legal ducks in a row when it comes to what you have to do in order to maintain your entity protection, because the nature of doing business is that, risks are going to come with it. Like, there are going to be risks in business. There's going to be mishaps, whether it's your fault, whether it's the other person's fault, or you two are just not on the same page. And that's totally okay. What's not okay is not having a solid legal foundation where you can consume that, right? Where you can receive those things and be able to respond efficiently and in a way that doesn't legally impact your business and your profits, right? The second part is your relationship. People, hello, businesses do not move without relationships. And like I said, I usually talk about your client relationships and client contracts, but I'm not just talking about that today. So that's first and foremost, because if we're talking about making money, it comes from your clients. So you want to make sure you have your contracts in place for those client relationships. Similarly, if you are in any partnerships, if you have a team, I'm talking employees, contractors, even interns and volunteers, you want to have a contract for all of those relationships, because as a business owner, it's your job to lay out that contract and say, hey, this is how we're supposed to work together. These are the services I need you to do for me as an employee or contractor or a team member. These are the rules that you need to abide by. These are the boundaries. These are the expectations. It is the contract, that written document that says, hey, we agreed to these things with this person, and this is how it's going to go down. You never want to have a verbal agreement in place, because that falls onto a lot of he said, she said, which we all know is not reliable, right? We don't want to have to rely on our memory or our emotions or our personal relationships, that too, in order to try to figure out what's going on in our relationship. Have a neutral document that states what you two agree to do, or whoever it is that you're contracting with. You want to have that documented. Contracts are the foundation of any business relationship. Contracts are the foundation of any business relationship. So if you have a business relationship right now that you don't have a contract for, that's something you need to do. You need to add to your to-do list for 2025. Clients, again, team members, interns, volunteers, contractors, employees, vendors, and contractors, sponsors. Any business relationship you have, you want to make sure there is a contract that specifies how you two are going to work together, and you want to make sure that you understand what it says, because it's not enough to just have a contract template or something Chat GPT drew up for you, or something you downloaded on Google for free to represent your relationship. You need to know what's going on in that relationship. Imagine if with your significant other or spouse or parent, imagine if you had a template relationship, right? Or you just copied and paste what a marriage is supposed to look like from Google or something, and you're letting that run your marriage. Like, that's crazy, right? You need to know what's going on. It needs to be, your contract needs to be curated around these relationships, and it needs to be in your favor because this is your business. So you want to make sure you are protected. And these next things I'm going to talk about are also part of these contracts, right? Your intellectual property. These are things that people have access to when working for you or working with you, right? Again, I'm talking clients, team members, contractors, vendors, sponsors, etc. These people will have information, internal information about your business, external information that constitute your intellectual property. I'm talking about your trademarks, your methods, right? Your client lists and contact. Like there's just so much information that is considered your intellectual property and information that's also considered confidential, right? So not just your IP, but confidential information as well. Let me finish over here on the IP side. So when it comes to your IP, because IP is a valuable asset of your business, these are things that have value and generate money for your business. These are things that can be leveraged. These are things that can be sold. These are things people pay you extra money for. These are things that make you stand out in the marketplace or in your industry as that go-to person or the expert in what you do. So if you don't know what your intellectual property is, you need to do an internal business audit and figure it out, right? If you have questions about it, write it down. Is this my intellectual property? I've been operating my business for the last 2 years, but I'm not even sure what the IP looks like. I don't care what the question is. It is not a dumb question because as a business owner, unless you're an attorney like myself, like you're not supposed to know this stuff. And that's totally okay. You're supposed to be a business owner in whatever it is that you are doing. So make sure you write the questions because your responsibility as a business owner is to find out the answers and the information for the benefit and protection of your business. Are we on the same page? Let me know in the comments. And again, confidentiality. So some information may not necessarily be intellectual property, but you may want to keep confidential the happenings of your business, plans that you have, schemes, processes, methods that you use within your business functions, and those things that you share with, again, people who are working with you or for you. Conversations that you have, right? Planning and brainstorming. A lot of these things you want to keep confidential. You may need to have someone sign an NDA for, right? To ensure confidentiality. But what you don't want to happen is not protecting those things and kind of handling it all willy-nilly, or even worse, assuming that people will keep certain material and information confidential, because at that point, you really have no control and you don't know what's going to happen. Best case scenario, something does happen and you did have protection in place, at least you have some type of recourse. And that is a point of protection because you cannot always control what other people are going to do. You can try to do it, right, by putting terms in place, having them sign something. But at the end of the day, people are going to be people. Life is life in and all that stuff. You cannot control everything. But what you can control is how you as a business owner, as a business, responds to those things that happen. Are you protected? Do you have some type of structure in place for when those things do happen, right? When negative things happen, when mistakes happen, when people are tripping or your confidential information is leaked or your intellectual property rights were violated. Do you as a business have recourse and a way to handle that? That is protection. That is protection. And then lastly, your questions. What questions do you have? Again, you are not a business attorney. You do not need to study up and become a business attorney or be a legal business scholar. It's not necessary. All you have to do as a business owner is be in tune with your business and recognize where you have questions. If there is something in the back of your mind, on the back burner, in your gut, like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should take this step. What are the risks going to be if I do this? Am I going to be protected if I share this business plan with a potential business partner? Is this client supposed to see the whole of my proprietary method, or am I just supposed to give them an overview, right? To what extent of information can I share with my employees and contractors? What questions do you have? Is your LLC the right business entity for this if you want to get funding in the future, right? Should you switch things up? What questions do you have? What questions do you have? It is a risky move to have lingering questions when it comes to the protection and the risk associated with running your business and not having those questions answered. The best thing you can do as a business owner, as a CEO, as a founder is be informed in your decision making. And that means having the answers or the information when it comes from as it pertains to protection in your business as to how to move forward. Right? You never want to make a decision that you later have to look back on and say, "Oh, I didn't have this information," or "I'm not confident in making this decision, but I have to do something moving forward," right? That means you're moving scared, you're moving uninformed, you're moving in a way that is risky when you don't have to. So whatever questions you have as you are preparing for 2025, as you are reviewing your business and what you've done and your services and your offerings and your intellectual property and your protections and the people you work with, what questions do you have? Write them down and go find an attorney to talk to. You do not always have to have an attorney on retainer for $5,000, $10,000 a month. A lot of attorneys out here will give you a free consultation or they'll charge you a few $100s for an hour of their time. But what's a few $100s for an hour of an attorney's time when you are saving tens or sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars in risk and disputes that come up? I've seen it with my clients myself, right? So please, whatever questions you have, find an attorney that you can talk to about your questions and make sure it's an attorney that you like. Make sure it's an attorney that you can continue to keep tapping back in with, because as your business grows, as your business changes at the end of 2024, in 2025, 2026, you're going to continue to have questions and you want to be able to circle back with an attorney who's familiar with how you're building your business and your goals and aspirations and the problems and risks associated with your industry, right? It's always great to build those relationships. And so if you are looking for an attorney in your state, you can start like at the state bar, right? Look up whatever state you're in. Texas State Bar, they might have like an attorney list for you. You can also do that like with the County Bar Association. You can contact me and I can see if I can help you or I can give you a referral, right? Like attorneys are a lot more accessible than society makes us think. But anyway, questions, get them answered. So again, your protection, your relationships, and your questions. Make sure you have those things in order. Where there are gaps or things that you need to know, please get those answers or get that information and know that you do not have to do all the legwork. You are a business owner, you are the visionary. You don't always have to work in your business for every single thing. With that being said, I'm going to let you all go. Check me out on the next live. And if you have a specific topic that you want me to talk about when it comes to running your business as a service provider, a consultant, a coach, or just business in general, send me a instant message. What do people even still do that? Send me a message on LinkedIn or shoot me an email, drop it in the comments, and I will add it to my topic queue for these lives. All right. Have a good day.